Hi guys, Maverick here and welcome to another new video. Today we'll be doing something a little different. This is not going to be a new launch review, but rather I'll be going through my top picks for new launch condos in 2023. So it could be those condos that have already launched in the past few months or the ones that are coming up in the next half of the year. So how I will be doing this is I'll be splitting it into regions, so I'll be covering the OCR, RCR, then the CCR. As a bonus, I will also mention some projects that I will avoid buying in 2023. So without further ado, let's get into the video. First up, let's take a look at my favorite OCR projects. At the top of my list is going to be Lentor Hill Residences. So as we know, Goko Land is going to be the main developer for the whole Lentor area, and they are known to price their products very reasonably on launch. Furthermore, you are tapping into the whole first movers advantage into the whole Lentor area, and an advantage that Lentor Hill Residences has over Lentor Modern is that it is within 1 km of CHIJ St. Nicholas Girls' School, which I think a lot of parents can appreciate. And furthermore, of course, because it is just beside Lentor Modern, you are within a 5-minute walking distance to Lentor MRT station. Now my second pick for an OCR condo is The Mist at Cashew. It will be developed by CDL, who is one of the most reputable developers in Singapore. Now this is a 408 unit project, not small by any means, but not that big either. You are just a 4 to 5 minute walk to Cashew MRT. In fact, I was there on site and I timed myself walking from Cashew MRT to the entrance of The Mist, and it took me exactly 4 minutes and 11 seconds. So if you are a slightly slower walker, you could take 5 minutes, or if you are a very fast walker, it could take you only 3 minutes. Now something I really like about The Mist is that it's only 2 stops away from Beauty World MRT station, and we all know that with the reserve coming up and future plans to rejuvenate the whole Beauty World area, The Mist at Cashew MRT is positioned really nicely because you don't have to pay the premium to stay at Beauty World, but you still get to experience the transformation as it happens there. So I would say if you are on a slightly tighter budget, The Mist could be a very good alternative to the reserve residences or even the condo at Bukit Timah Link. And for my third pick will be the Botany at Dairy Farm. Very similar concept to The Mist, just that it's actually a bit further away from Hillview MRT station. But once you get to Hillview, you're only 1 stop away from Beauty World station. Another thing I really like about the Botany is that you're surrounded by greenery. So if you prefer a quieter and more serene environment for own stay, then I think the Botany is quite an ideal choice. Now I have 3 projects that I will avoid for this year. Firstly, it will be the Arden. It was supposed to launch last year, but I have no idea what's going on now. Xinjiang is trying to get permission to build on the remnant land beside the Arden's land plot, so yeah, nothing has been confirmed yet. And it's also a relatively small development and the location isn't really ideal. So unless the price is really cheap, I really don't see any future demand for a condo like that. Next up will be Lake Garden Residences by Wing Tai. It's going to be a relatively small development with just over 300 units. Now that's not the main reason why I would avoid Lake Garden Residences. In fact, I really do like that it's just beside Jurong Lake Gardens. It's just that Wing Tai bought the land at such a high price. In fact, the land price is almost the same as what Grand Diamond was bought for. So unless they're really okay with not making too much profit, they're probably going to sell the units at a bit of a premium. And I think if you're looking for a development there, you should wait for the former Parkview Mansions to be launched instead. And lastly, this might be a bit controversial, but I will avoid the later Lentor launches. Now we're going to see another 2 more Lentor launches at the end of this year, but to be very honest, I would avoid those as it defeats the purpose of having a first mover's advantage. Once you're in the market to sell those units, there would already be units in the resale market from Lentor Modern and Lentor Hill Residences, and you won't want to compete with them because you're probably buying at a higher price. Next up, let's move on to the RCR. Now first on my list will be Grand Dunman. It's a development with 1008 units and you're just a 1 minute walk to Dakota MRT station. Now you get to enjoy both the serenity of a landed enclave and also some amenities from the HDB estate beside it. Now this is going to be priced in the middle of all 3 District 15 launches this year. It'll be slightly more expensive than Tembusu Grand because of its location, and it'll be slightly cheaper than the Continuum because it's a 99-year leasehold project instead of a freehold one. Which brings me to my second pick for RCR, which is the Continuum. Now I don't know if you've watched my review of the Continuum, but I really do like the layouts. I think the finishes are of very good quality and the developers have put a lot of thought into developing a condo that a buyer really wants to live in. Now, quantum wise, it is also pretty reasonable. It is going for about the same price as the older freehold projects. It's just that the layouts are of course smaller, higher PSF, but you're getting a brand new condo and a more efficient use of space within the unit. So I think it is a very reasonable buy in today's market, especially if you're looking for a freehold homestay unit in District 15. Now, third on my list for top choices in the RCR will be the Reserve Residences by Far East Organisation. If you've watched my review of the Reserve, you will know that I really do love the location a lot. I gave it a 10 out of 10. Now, the price can be a little steep, but to be very honest, there aren't many good condos around the area that can compete with the Reserve. Unless you're looking at older freehold condos like Maple Woods, which is also asking for pretty high prices. So if you do really love the location of the Reserve a lot, I would say you can go ahead and buy it. But if you're looking for investment, you want some capital appreciation, I think maybe the OCR launches or Grand Diamond might be a better choice. Now, condos to avoid, firstly, it will be Terra Hill, developed by Hoi Hub and Sunway, who are also the developers of the Continuum, by the way. But Terra Hill and the Continuum are two very, very different products. It is very expensive for the Pasir Panjang area, and also because the land is very awkward, the buildings are placed quite awkwardly, and some units are facing directly to the wall. Now, next project I would avoid for RCR properties would be the new condo at Bukit Timah Link, which is going to be developed by Bukit Sembawang. Now, I won't say that it's going to be a bad project per se, but because if you want to buy a project there, then wouldn't you rather buy the Reserve? Unless Bukit Timah Link is going to be a lot cheaper, which I don't think they are, because judging from the land price, they're going to sell at about 2,550 PSF, which is just 100 PSF under the Reserve. So if you're looking for a more budget option, I would guide you actually to the Mist instead. Now, for CCR properties, my number one pick would be Marina View. It's going to be developed by IOI Properties and it's sitting on a white site. So the concept is very similar to what you see at Marina 1. So hopefully it will be reasonably priced. Now, judging from the land price, the developers could price it rather reasonably. And if they launch at around $2,700 to $2,800, it means that you're paying a slight premium of around $200 to $300 PSF for a CCR property downtown compared to competing RCR properties. Now, my number one CCR property to avoid will be Newport Residences. I think, as you know, Newport will be aimed at mostly foreigners, since when the government announced the ABSD hike for foreigners from 35 to 60%, CDL actually postponed the preview and launch, and I think they're figuring out a way to market these to the local buyers instead. It's going to be very expensive. The layouts are not the best because of the shape of the building, and I personally think that the finishes are not luxurious enough to demand a $3,200, $3,300 per square feet price tag. Now, lastly, as a bonus, EC. If you watch my video, I think you would know my stance on ECs. Most of the ECs are a no-brainer if you can afford, and if you are eligible for one, then go ahead and buy it, especially in today's market, where the price disparity of an EC to a new launch condo is close to $700 per square feet. There's a lot of room for the price of the EC to grow, and even if the market is stagnant, you can expect a $500 per square feet profit 10 years later. And of course, if the market moves as we expect it to be, maybe you could experience a $800 per square feet profit. So if you're looking for an EC to buy, Altura is probably the only EC that's going to be launched this year at Bukit Batok. It will be within 1 km of the future ACS Primary, and it will be developed by Qingjian and Santali, the developers of Tenet. And then the next EC, which is also at Bukit Batok, will be developed by CDL, who are also developers of Copen Grand at Tengah. So if you found this video useful, do share it with your family and friends. Of course, if you do need any property advice or help, do reach out to me. My number is flashing on the screen right now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!